everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Svetlana and today we're gonna talk about some plenty business. So actually it's my second year in a row when I try to be more mindful and have some kind of plenty goals slash tasks that I really want to go ahead and accomplish in the upcoming year. And this year won't be an exception. It's actually my second year in a row when I try to find some pinpoints which stand out to me and like those goals that I really feel are gonna make me more happy with my collection, with my own home and stuff like that. So today I want to share with you 10 houseplant goals, my collection goals that I already had in previous year and how many of those I accomplished. By the way, I think I pretty nailed it. I'm gonna talk about it really soon, right? And then later on I want to share 10 new goals. This time they're gonna be a bit different from the previous year's goals, but it's gonna be fun. So without further any flipping ado, let's talk about the things past Svetlana wanted to accomplish and let's see if she nailed it. How many times I need to say nailed it? Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of myself. Sorry guys. By the way, sorry for the late upload. I'm so flippin'. I'm so struggling right now at my work, you have no idea. It was so difficult this week. I needed to call my boss from his baby leave to help because it just was impossible. Impossible. But anyway, also, thank you for all of the houseplant pot orders. It is so fun to play along with your ideas, to chat about what you have, like what visions you have on the pots and stuff like that. I already finished my first order, which actually will be going to Israel. It's already shipped, so hopefully everything will be fine. Thank you so much once again. And for those who keep on asking, do I ship to United States? Guys, I ship all throughout the world. I honestly think there's not a continent I haven't sent to already, so kind of cool when you think about it. But anywho, yeah, thank you so much guys. Here are the details if you wanna write me a message and chat about more houseplant pot orders, because I'm happy to help. I'm happy to earn some money on the side because right now we need for the vet bills again. Okay, let's not even get started. Let's not go to that dark side, right? Let's talk about plenty business. So goal number one was to go ahead and actually this is hilarious right now when I think, sometimes you just read your diary from the childhood and you just face slap yourself and just giggle from all of the nonsense you were thinking at that time. That's a pretty similar feel right now I have, because the goal number one was to get rid of all of the pests. And oh my gosh, throughout that year I had so many more outbreaks. It's funny to think about. I mean, right now at this point I still have trips, I still have mealybugs. I also found last week spider mites in my kitchen, so we have them all. The last thing I need right now to find is probably scale, and it's gonna be the whole package of fun things. Oh guys, yeah, it's definitely not done. I mean, I keep on fighting them, they keep on coming back, and it's just the circle of life, I guess. But yeah, this one of course did not nail it, did not accomplish it, but still working on it. But the other one I feel pretty happy about. The other one was check off at least half of my plenty wish list. And guys, of course I did, which is insane and mind-blowing. I have a whole video about it if you want to go ahead and check out my last year's wish list and this year's wish list and what happened, what did I got. I will show you the plans and all of those fun things. I'll leave a link over here if you want to go ahead and check it out. But yeah, I actually crossed 6 plants out of 10 from my main wish list. Of course, throughout the year I have more plants I want and I buy more plants I want and all of that. But yeah, I nailed it. Oh, flipping nailed it, and I'm so happy about it. Okay, the goal number 3 was to try out different mediums. And guys, I think I'm pretty happy to announce or whatever that I think I'm doing flipping great job, because at least 20 plants right now in my collection are growing in pon. I also have some plants growing in sphagnumos, for example. I have some plants growing in soil, like most of my plants are growing in soil. What else do we have? I have some plants growing in simple prop boxes with perlite, bam, like this, right? So Lots of different medias are right now in action in my collection. I also am growing seeds in paper towels, so does it count as a medium? I'm not sure, but heck yeah, this was an easy one to accomplish, a bit spooky one to accomplish, not gonna lie. I was a bit afraid to go to hydroponics and all of that, new world to me. But it's so far so good. I actually enjoy it a lot. Alright, another one. Okay, sorry guys, the vet actually just called that finally we have the answers from the blood test that we were sending to Germany. And she said it's not a conversation over the phone, so at 3 p.m. we'll be going with our dog to talk about the situation. She sounded weird. Anyway, okay, we'll see. Sorry, wow, that took me off guard. Back to goals and to the plants. So goal number 4 was actually to decorate more of my own planty pots, because last year I actually was receiving so many of your pot orders, custom pots that I was painting and sending it out to you all throughout the world. And I was just feeling that maybe my own collection, my own houseplant pots felt a bit like mediocre and boring. So actually I think last year I have been doing such a good job, because I have so many interesting beautiful pots. I have painted more pots on my own. I have some that you guys sent to me, like the llama, the skulls, the medusa, and all of those fun things. So this is definitely something that I feel that I accomplished, because I have so many pots that I made myself. For example, this mushroom pot, this 3D mushroom pot, I also made myself in a ceramic class at my work. So, all of these things adds that shebang to my houseplant collection, and I feel like this is like the best thing ever when you want to upgrade your houseplant collection, but you want to save up some money, or you want to still save up some space but you feel a bit bored with your houseplant collection. You can go ahead and play with some pottery, because the new pot immediately gives a glow up for the old plant. This is like not a big brainer for me. It's always works. So yeah, this was actually the fun one to accomplish. And I think I'm proud to say that I flipping did it. I flipping did it. Yeah. Moving on. Take better care of my office plants. And actually this one I feel like I'm doing like 50-50. At the same time, I'm more often right now going to my office to work, because I do not work from home that often anymore. So in that way, of course, I am more close to my plants in there, and I can see all of the signs whenever they droopy or having yellow leaves and all of that. So I feel like I'm doing pretty good job. But at the same time, last year I lost 2 plants in there out of 3. I mean, I did bring some new ones, but at the same time, it's like 50-50. This one actually was the one that I was postponing for such a long time, but I did it. It was to put my big Monstera deliciosa on a pole. Here's a pic of how it's looking right now, because it's extremely heavy and I won't be picking up to show it to you because it won't fit in the frame. But I think it's doing so well right now. Actually, it's leaning toward the window because once again, it's the dark season in here. But all in all, I feel like it's looking way cooler and more fabulous, and I cannot wait for it to have more fenestrations and those crazy big leaves and looking fancy and beautiful, because she has all of that VIP spot to herself. And I mean, the bottom part, just ignore the bottom part in the picture. I just playing along with plants and put in there plants that I still have no clue where to put, right? But the top part, beautiful. She looks beautiful in my opinion. I'm looking at her because this is that wall that is in this picture. So, oh, okay, moving on. Another one was actually to make more fairy gardens, and I did. I'm not sure if 2 counts, but I did. Actually, just in my previous video, I made a fairy garden inspired by the desert theme with different cacti and succulents. So if you want to go ahead and watch it once again, you can go ahead to my channel and watch it. Duh. I also last year made by The Last of Us TV show inspired fairy garden. Let me go quickly and grab it. Alright, so when I planted it was way smaller, of course, obviously, right? And it had more plants. The string of hearts actually was growing from that bottle. The idea of this fairy garden was skull in here you can see with the mushroom growing out of its eye, like those zombies that were in that TV show, right? And also wanted to create like a scene like this is like the side of a road. As you can tell in the back, there's a fence that I DIY'd, right? So there's a fence, a skull of a person, and then the bottles laying around. So, you know, all of that like works as abandoned places after the... Oh my gosh, there is a guy on the roof. What a flipping day, it's so weird. Anyway, but yeah, this is how it looks right now. It looks so wild. Actually, this peace lily, at first I thought it was one singular plant, but it's actually just a lot of baby plants that are falling apart because they're planted a bit too low. So I do need to give a little glow up for this fairy garden because lots of plants overgrown. I mean, this euphorbia is doing so well. It looks so lush and beautiful, but it also hides like the most of this fairy garden. So here's another example for you that fairy gardens don't always last long. For example, the one that was inspired by hobbits that I shared not that long ago is growing for the third year in a row and is looking fabulous. This one is about under a year old and it's already too crazy. I need to do something about it. Definitely need to do something about it. So yeah, so this one I want to believe that I did accomplish because I still made some fairy gardens, but I do want to make more. I actually have some things planned. I actually want to make a fairy garden inspired by Avatar movies with some orchids that I have that are blooming, and have this whole glass dish. This is like the idea of I'm gonna make like a mountain inside of it with beautiful orchids that my fiance bought to me for reaching 10,000 subscribers on my channel. So fun. It's gonna be a different project because it's gonna be looking more like a terrarium, so stay tuned for that, of course. But right now, moving on. This one, unfortunately, I did not accomplish, and it was to grow Astrophytum and Euphorbia collection, which is a bit sad because it was one of those goals that I really felt like I really gotta do it. At the same time, yes, I do have a couple new Euphorbias and Astrophytums, but the main idea was to grow it way bigger, like the whole collection. So this time, I still want to work on it this year. I still want to work on my Euphorbias and Astrophytums because I feel like they're one of the coolest plants. Definitely this goal is coming to this year as well because we gotta do it. We gotta do it. Moving on, this one actually forgot to grab out of my terrarium that I have in there, but you know what, there's not much to show. So this one was to start a variegated ZZ prop from leaf. So if you have been longer on my channel, you might remember that when I unboxed a bought ZZ Zenzi plant, right, it actually had some sport variegation on a couple of the leaves. And at that time, I wanted to cherish and save it and, you know, to just have it in one piece and who knows, maybe more variegated shoots gonna show up. They never did. So actually what I did last year, I went ahead, cut off couple variegated leaves that I still found. Some of them reverted because it was standing in a pretty low light situation, but some of them didn't. So I have two tiny leaves propagating in one of my terrariums. They do have a little tiny bulbs already, so those teeny tiny like potatoes, right? And roots on them. They are growing in pon, but nothing much happening. I have heard that variegated ZZs are so slow growers. I mean, technically, I have a full-on variegated ZZ plant here in the back, if you can see. I do have a full-on variegated ZZ. That is definitely a variegated plant, but this one is actually also not doing much. I'm being very cautious about watering because I know how tricky these plants can be, but so far, nothing. It's still alive, it's still here, and that's what matters, in my book at least. But yeah, nothing new to report. Okay, moving on. The last goal was actually to attend more plant swaps. And I did. I actually did because before that, like a couple years ago, I would always attend once in summer. But last year, I actually had two plant swaps, maybe even three, but I attended two plant swaps. And I am so happy with my choices. I still can see some plants that I came back with during those plant swaps, and this was the best time ever. It's always so much fun to be surrounded by so many people who understand you and you are not looking like a freak. So it was always such a fun, and this year hopefully maybe in spring we'll have another plant swap, to which of course I will take you along. Don't worry about it, of course we're gonna do it. So yeah, these are all of my plenty goals. So from 10 I wanna believe I actually accomplished from 7 to 8 goals. Huh? How fun is that? The only ones that I did not accomplish was the pest situation and my Astrophytum and Euphorbia collection. The one with office plants is like 50-50, so that's why I say from 7 to 8. 7.5. So I feel like this is such a good way to start a year, knowing that I accomplished all of those things I was putting my mind to, manifesting. And this year I want to start once again from the very same idea of manifesting plenty goals, plenty tasks that I want to accomplish throughout the year, and I want to share them with you. So let's get to the new goals of the new year, of the new era. Have the list once again, so let's get started. Once again, we have 10 plans, 10 goals, and this time they might be a bit different. Okay, so the goal number one is actually gonna be hit or miss. I'm not sure how I'm gonna accomplish it, or will I at all, but my idea is to find a second-hand IKEA cabinet. A second-hand IKEA cabinet that I actually wanna upgrade and make into like a plenty cabinet, of course, but they are so expensive and sometimes they're not that easy to find here locally. So I do see from time to time in Facebook groups people are selling theirs like already upgraded with with silicone already on all of the crevices and the lamps and fans and all of that. So I'm not sure if I wanna buy one of those or do I wanna buy a simple one and DIY it myself. But this is one of those goals that I feel like gonna help me a lot in my collection, especially with some perky and like tricky plants. So this one would be fun to play around and see what happens. That's about it. Another one is actually coming from almost last year. It's like a very similar one, but this one is actually to grow my cacti collection. And once again, I just have this love for cacti that is never leaving my like brain and heart, and I feel like sometimes I tend to forget about it and be like obsessed with my aroids, beautiful things like that, but always on the back of my brain I have some cool cacti that I wanna find and grow and make arrangements with and all of that. So this year definitely is gonna be, I feel like this is gonna be the year where I wanna play more with different cacti and succulents and see what happens. Another one actually is to have more plants on a mouse pots. So last year I already bought 4 plants on a mouse pots, which is something new for me once again because it always intimidated me, like the pole thing. Actually, it's pretty fun to play with them. Yes, I still struggle to keep them moist, but at the same time, it's like such a fun task to do every other day or so. I still do remember some DIY hacks from you, like cutting the bottle, putting on top and all of that, so I need to work on that as well. But I want to have even more plants on poles because I feel like this makes them really happy and they look beautiful and gorgeous. So that would be a fun experiment to play around in the upcoming year. So once again, more plants, different varieties, maybe putting more, I don't know, scindapsus on poles and just see what happens. Just experimenting with plants and see, maybe I'll find more new plants that I'm gonna fall in love over and over again, like I do with the plants that I put over here, like my philodendron splendid that is growing bigger leaves right now. So you probably cannot see it that well. Once again, sorry for the lighting. Moving on. This one, once again, comes from the last year. I want to make more fairy gardens. So just like I mentioned, this year I already started with a cacti arrangement, right? But I want to do more of them. I actually want to make one pretty large to put it to my office. So to bring it to my office because I have humongous desk in there that is kind of almost too empty for me. So of course I would love to add more plants in there, but it would be way more fun to have an arrangement instead of a simple plant pot, right? So that would be so much fun. And of course I want to play around with more themes, just like I mentioned. I have an avatar inspired terrarium in my mind and I have many more projects. So this year, hopefully the artsy side of me will come to the plenty life and we'll see what happens. Moving on. Oh, by the way, talking about terrariums, I have this humongous, like this size bottle that was probably used for the wine making. It actually is put in this awesome looking wooden bucket that is handmade and looks so vintage and like from the pirate ships or something. But I have this humongous bottle that I actually I found in trash. Let's just have the record straight. I just took it from the trash, but I just cannot leave it be. I could not imagine it being broken and just thrown away, so I rescued it, and right now I have this like crazy idea to make a terrarium in this bottle. I feel like this would be such a fun project, especially later on, to play around with some grow lights and maybe just have a whole composition with this bottle, because I feel like this could be like almost like a room centerpiece. I could put it on some kind of tiny table and it all would look fabulous. It would look fabulous. So stay tuned. Once again, I'm working on it. I feel like this is gonna require a lot of preparations, lots of nerves, and lots of everything. So, not sure when I'm gonna do it. I hope it's gonna be this year because its bottle is just standing in my balcony. Goal number 6 is to upgrade grow light setup. And I'm working on it already. So I feel like in January is gonna be the month when I'm gonna be accomplishing this goal, which is so fun to think about. So I actually have some grow lights that came over here, right? So I'm gonna be working on that in the future videos. Not sure if it's gonna be the next week or whenever the time will let me. Actually took a couple days off in the end of the month, so maybe then. Why I need it? Because at this moment I have only 3 grow lights. I have Plant Spectrum 32 from the mother, and I have 3 of them, and one actually is struggling. This one that is standing close, that you cannot see, to my terrariums, is, I think it's close. It's coming to an end, its life. So definitely the upgrade's gonna be very needed. Alright, moving on. This is one of those goals that I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it. I still have no clue if I will have enough balls to do it. I'm talking about my beautiful Monstera Aurea. I have this idea to propagate it because right now it's playing tricks with me and growing every other leaf variegated and every other leaf completely green. I know a lot of people already taught me through comments or some messages that it's happening to some plants. So I'm not sure if I wanna just keep on going and just have this half variegated plant, or do I wanna go ahead, cut it in pieces and have some variegated and some non-variegated monsteras. So let me know what you would do. I know a lot of you said you would cut it as well, but I love this plant to pieces, so at the same time, I have grown it for a couple years now, maybe, and it still has even the leaf that it came with in the mail to me. So, it's very special plant to me. So, just to go ahead and cut it, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it. I honestly have no clue if I will be able to do it. Fingers crossed. Moving on. The goal number 8 is to cross off at least half of the plant wish list. Once again, we're repeating the last year's goal, and hopefully this year I'm gonna accomplish it once again. I have like 10 plants in my wish list, and I feel like some of them are very easy to acquire, others are almost like unicorns, at least here in Lithuania. So we will see what happens. Of course, I'm gonna take you along on the journey and we'll see. So that's it about it, I guess. Sorry, the vet's call really took me off guard, and right now all I can think about, I still need to film this video, but at the same time, I just have this red light like twitching in my brain, like what the heck is going on? What did this vet saw in those tests? Because she sounded really worried. And right now I need to wait 4 hours before I'm gonna know the answer. Okay, moving on. We have 2 more goals to talk about. And goal number 9 is actually to propagate more of my plants and make the pots bushier. So what I have in mind, for example, okay, this is the pretty recent one. So I had this beautiful Syngonium pink splash, right? What I did, I had this one singular cutting. So I cut off like 5-ish cuttings or so, propagated them in perlite, and then later on I popped them, like the babies, the cuttings, I popped all around the mama plant, and right now it looks like a full-on pot. So instead of having one singular like soldier in the pot, right now I have a full family. Look at it. Right now maybe it doesn't look like much, but later on, trust me, it's gonna look so nice, like a beautiful, beautiful bush. It's already giving me beautiful pinky leaves. Look at it. So cute. So this is like the example of what I want to do with more of my plants. So once again, I want to cut them, prop them and then have full-on pots like worth of your attention and not one singular like corky plants in a pot. Yep. Putting in the bag. I feel like this is gonna be a fun one to accomplish because I have a lot of plants that are just like singular plants in one pot, so we're gonna have lots of props coming up. I mean, I already have, so stay tuned. And last but not least, I wanna repot some of my OG plants, so the ones that are actually pretty old in my collection and might have been in the very same pot for 5-ish years or even more. For example, I have a cacti here in the back that came back from my not previous but previous apartment that is probably growing in this same very pot and very same soil mix for maybe over 10 years, maybe 15 years right now. So I do need to give a little upgrade. Plus I have a bunch of old cacti, a bunch of old plants that have been sitting in the very same soil mix, in the very same pot, and I feel like a little refreshment is gonna be very, very helpful for them in the future for growing, and probably most of them will need some upsize in the pots. So all of that busy. So like, to put it simply, I need to do lots of reporting this year, as I usually do. So this is my last goal for this year. That is gonna be it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit more on the mumbly side, but during my weekend we're gonna film a little bit more of like things that I can do with my hands and work on. But right now, since I'm filming this on my lunch break, I'm trying to fly through this and upload a video for you to at least listen while you do your own plant. Lots of different people are doing some nonsense today in the apartments in front. Anyway, what I was saying? Oh, so at least this video hopefully was interesting to listen while you did your own plant chores or was driving and stuff like that. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you did enjoy this video. Please subscribe if you want to see more planty content. If you want to see me accomplishing these goals, let me know if you have any goals that are kind of relatable to mine or maybe different to mine. It's actually always interesting to see what kind of ideas plenty people have for the future. So let's chat about it in the comments. If you watched it till right now, leave horse emojis in the comments and I'm gonna know you watched it till the very end. And before leaving you, of course, let me teach you another language lesson. You know what? Let me teach you quickly a very simple word, but this one is probably the one that you can use whenever you want. So, I mean, duh. So, let me teach you how to say thank you in Lithuanian, in Russian, and in Polish. So, if you want to say thank you in Lithuanian, you need to say ačiū. Once again, ačiū. And if you want to say thank you in Russian, you need to say spasiba. Once again, spasiba. And if you want to say thank you in Polish, you need to say dziękuję. Dziękuję. This is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching and hopefully I'll see you in my next one.